this webcast. My name is Ahmed Jasad, the chairman of the South African Oracle User Group. We are fortunate we have a company called Rapid for Cloud. It's going to be presenting through to us. I'm just sharing through the invite. There we go. So today's agenda would be migration to the cloud and maintaining of the Oracle Cloud platforms. We have two speakers today, Keith Rock, who is the director, and do I pronounce it correctly? Pecharan,
yes,
who
my
is
name.
who is also a director for business solutions, and
My name is Pat.
Pet, also Pet in short. Yeah, thanks, man. So it's going to be a demonstration on how you can move your Oracle on-premise to the cloud. And as you know, we're seeing a huge increase in South Africa. So what we will do, we will allow Keith and Pat to present through to us for 45 minutes. And thereafter, we'll have a Q&A session. This session is recorded. And in about a day's time, the recording will be on the South African Oracle website. I will be monitoring the questions and answers and allowing people in. Just from the South African Oracle User Group, we know that due to the pandemic, we could not have a live face-to-face conference this year in Cape Town. But once things do settle down and once we do have the opening, we will go back to our original session where we're going to have a conference in Cape Town, and we'll invite Keith and Pat over to our beautiful country.
Excellent.
I'm looking forward. Exciting.
Yes.
Yeah. Keith will be, he won't see the difference, he won't notice the difference because of all the British in Cape Town. But nevertheless, you guys are all here to see the product and how the product works. I hand over to Keith and Pat. You guys can now present. I will be on mute and just handling the session as well on the side. Thank you very much. Keith and Pat, over to you, through to you.
Okay, Ahmed, thank you. So I'm going to start with just a few slides by way of introduction, and then hand over to Pat for all the clever stuff. So let me just get those slides up. But whilst doing that, thank you for giving us the opportunity here to take you through our. Let me just go back a step to take you through our session for today, which, as we saw, was entitled "Intelligent Software to Set Up and Migrate, Manage, and Maintain the Oracle Cloud Applications." We have a set of tools that makes it easier for that move from to the Oracle Cloud. Whether that journey for you, I think more in South Africa, is starting from EBS, or whether you are moving straight to the cloud. So, could I just ask perhaps if people could just go on mute just whilst we go through the slides, if you wouldn't mind, please. So we're going to take you through the challenges that's raised by that technology shift and the tools that we've developed to meet those challenges. So in the next 45 minutes, Pat's going to take you through upgrade scenario, and then we're going to follow that through with how you would then configure and manage that within your cloud environment and your target instance there, and move. We should have about 10-15 minutes at the end to go through some questions. So Intel, often referred to as the fourth industrial revolution, well, it's a fusion of technologies, and in our case we have taken the robotic process automation, RPA, and artificial intelligence to apply that intelligence to replicating the functions within the Oracle solution. We're a partner of.
Sorry, Keith, I don't think you are sharing your desktop. Are you sharing your desktop?
I thought I believed I was.
No, you're not sharing your desktop. We're just seeing we're seeing the.
No, yeah.
Just to let you
okay.
presenters know, we have about 47 people on the call. There we go. There we go, right. Keith.
Are you seeing? Okay, my apologies for that. It was my preamble, so you haven't missed any good slides. So as I say, this is our session, and we have been Oracle partners. I think I was up to for over 20 years now, and with EBS, and over the last 6-7 years with Fusion. So we are. Let me see if the next slide comes through this time. Okay. So I said, what is the challenge that we are addressing here? So you as an Oracle community, you will know Oracle has developed, continues to develop modern commodity-based best practice out-of-the-box software. It's always done that. However, it does require to be implemented, and that implementation is a significant task to configure, whether that's multiple environments, modules, divisions, countries, whatever your type of setup is. There will be multiple cycles of data and config to go through in your project, and to do that as well requires a certain amount of experience to interpret that business alignment with the software. And consequently, you know, on the slide you can see here typically large amounts of human input, and anywhere where you've got that and you've got repetition and you've got deadlines, then it's time consuming, it's prone to error, and it's prone to not really adding value with what you're doing or what your partner is doing if you're using a partner to implement. So what we had done to address that is that we've developed this solution, which you're going to see, and that executes complex business processes to drive those outcomes from business faster. In doing that, we respect all of the Oracle dependencies. So actually, you know, we're using a bot here to do this for you. You can look at that as one of your assistants in your team that doesn't need to take breaks or holidays, and allows you to use your time better in the other areas around adopting the new technologies. And you can see we've got some very impressive stats there that have been benchmarked from clients and partners that have been through this process with us in the past. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you a very quick overview of what those elements are in the tools, and then we're going to go straight into a demo. Sorry. So full life cycle. So whether you are implementing, whether you are expanding the solution to add new divisions or new countries, or whether you're in a business as usual or a managed services environment, there is a tool within the kit there that is applicable to everybody. So whether that's from upgrade, so that's coming from EBS, which is what we're going to talk about and show you next, or whether it's straight to cloud, where you might use Start there to create your master template and then develop that through the reports and the change and some of the other features there. There is the full life cycle here. So it's not just when you implement, it's also through maintain and grow and expand, and in fact very soon helping you around the testing function as well, and I will just touch on that towards the end of the presentation. So rapid upgrade, you're going to see this is about moving EBS across to cloud. You're all aware, I'm sure, the structures and the configuration in EBS versus what's in cloud are not one-to-one. And we provide a tool set, which Pat will show you, that provides that analysis and provides you with outcomes and questionnaires and directs you as to how you move from an EBS in 11 or 12 into cloud. If you are starting afresh, if you're new to cloud, then this will template a solution for you to drive an environment very quickly, which you then can use the other tools that you'll see in the wheel as we go through to manipulate and develop and move forward. One of the areas we have seen this been used by some of our partners, and it's a tool set that's used by end clients and by partners to implement for their clients, is that they would use this rapid start to include things such as their own IP, so industry specific type activities. So that's start. Once you've got an environment there, then reports, we're going to demonstrate you this. That will show you a powerful insight into how your system is configured. It's a tool that's highly parameterized and allows you to interrogate your environments, to run audits, to run comparisons, to see who's changed things. And throughout all of this, we're providing a documentation for your system, for your config as well. And then change. So once you've got something set up, you might be looking to develop that further. You might be looking, if you're in a production environment, to add or retire cost centers, for example, en masse. Anything that requires you making some change to bring environments into alignment or to develop those environments, you can do through rapid change. And that's something that comes out of your reporting. Again, it gives you some templates, so it gives you all of the documentation, and you can feed that back through. When probably you're in a live environment, if you're looking to add divisions, really if you're looking to add anything that's en masse here, to either copy or synchronize, then rapid copy is taking you through how you can move from environment to environment. So you might be creating a new environment, promoting the changes that you've made in one environment into another, or you might be taking your prod environment and moving it back into test to refresh that environment. A number of applications for that. We probably won't get to show you rapid copy in the time available, but what rapid copy does do in effect is it combines what's in reports and what's in change and makes that an automated process for you, but allowing you to take steps within the workflow to jump in and change that. And then finally, as I started to say just now, if you are in a production environment, then if you're looking to roll out new divisions, if you're based in South Africa, but you've got divisions that are in Europe, you might want to take the model, the gold business unit that you've got, which is perhaps 90% correct for an implementation in France or Germany, but you've got data that you want to change. Their rollout will enable you to either replicate that environment completely or give you the steps in between where it will give you again a questionnaire or a report out of there for you then to pick up and just make the changes that you need for that configuration to go through into your environment. So that's a quick run through of the tools that we've got. As you can see, there's a full cycle there, as I said, from implementation, daily, weekly. You can look at that as implement, run, maintain. What we're also releasing in October, and I just wanted to put this on the slide, to pull that all together, once you are in cloud, for those that have moved or will be moving to, you'll be fully aware that the cloud environment is updated, upgraded every quarter. So we have now developed a set of tools that will aid you with that regression testing on each of those quarterly rollouts. It's a new product for us. It's coming through, let's say, next month. It's dedicated to the Oracle Cloud apps, so it's only dedicated to that, and it comes with out of the box testing tools and scripts that you can run straight off. So that's a quick run through of what we've got. Before I hand over to Pat, a very brief look there, some renowned global logos that you'll see. These customers that have either used directly from us as clients with ourselves, Rapid for Cloud, or they've used through some of our partner organizations, IBM, InnoApps, Fujitsu, PwC. These are some of the organizations that use our tools in their own implementations of Oracle Cloud around the world. So a big history here within Oracle. Steep history back in EDS, in EBS, and then moving through to cloud over the last 6-7 years, which has put us in the position to be able to be very proud of what we do here in both environments. So just whilst the Pat and Allcrit get the demo up for you, Pat's now going to take you through how that works. As I've said, we're going to look at the first half of that is about upgrade, what we do to move you through that journey, and then a quick look at a couple of the Fusion tools as to how you can then manage those environments in Fusion and Belong once you're there. We'll have some time at the end for questions, I hope. If we could leave questions to the end just so that we can get through, that would be helpful. But clearly, if there are things that aren't coming across correctly, please shout. And by all means, you have my details, and we can certainly make those available. Any questions subsequent that we don't get round to, please feel free to contact me. So that's the end of the intro. Pat, are you ready to go?
Yes. So my colleague Migrate, she will do the demonstration, and I help you explain what is the product. And I am so excited to be participating and showing you the great product that for us, and we claim that the unique product that nobody else on the market they have, even they claim so. So our tool is 100% fully automate. And what we can starting first is from the existing EBS customer, and then it's interested to migrate or upgrade from EBS to cloud. But however, our upgrade EBS to cloud is not the same as Oracle Store. It's not like dip and dump. But what it is just you had ability to re-engineer. We take a snapshot entirely of your EBS, but you had ability to cleansing, to re-engineering some of the functions. There are totally 5 steps to complete. It sounds simple, but it's not simple as it is. So as you can see that take a snapshot, and then we do the import transformation, and then producing a report, and you can do the report analysis, make some changes, identify obsolete, identify anything that not be able to migrate due to functionality have been changing. And the next thing is going to be is migrate automatically into the cloud environment. Okay, so
just put it
then now,
Pat.
Yep. Sorry?
You just, for me, it's coming out as part of the screen rather than full screen. Maybe it's just how I'm viewing. Maybe it's me.
It is full screen, I think, already. All right, Ugri?
All right, sorry, it must be me then. My apologies.
Okay, so it is full screen, but if anyone that sees just partly, just please let me know, but it is already full screen. And as you can see, this is the rapid snapshot. It's a free tool, and it's freeware that to take a snapshot of EBS configuration entirely, not just configuration, it can be master data, it's also a transaction. But the migration from EBS to cloud, from our perspective, it's taking from the transaction standpoint, opening balance, remaining balance, except GL, we can pull and load entire history. So let's starting from the concept of the how can we capture EBS to cloud. Firstly, we have to take cloud functionality as the main section from your right-hand side. As you can see, all of the tasks for all of the modules that we supported. If you select it, it will automatically select the EBS function, which is on your left-hand side. But due to just for now to show you a concept that how the tool is doing. So we can select a specific area just to say, how can we take a snapshot and how can we convert this functionality from EBS to cloud? So this is like a washing machine, and you can select a particular task, and then automatically it selects the EBS automatically itself, and you take a snapshot and you put a snapshot name. It could be like GL only, or you could say a configuration for this business unit. So once the snapshot is completed, then there is an ability that you can say you can move around how many records have been configured. And then you can also filtering another area that you can say, I don't want all of this, but I don't want based upon certain dates, certain business unit, or certain application. In this particular case, that you can filter based upon selective operating that unit that you want. And then as you can see now, all of the data is filtered based upon your select operating unit criteria. After you're happy, you can run converted. But again, this is just a transformation from the EBS side to cloud side in the transformation engine. And you can view online here to see the information. This one, every screen, every element, every column that you see here is replica exactly the same screen that you see in Oracle ERP Cloud. This is just for example task, but the rest of the task, the rest of the function using the same concept. And you can see that after that, if all of the functionality, if all of the module is completed snapshot and converted, that it will become on the right hand side. It's now in the washing machine, and then you can pick and choose to be cleansing, to be review. What we give you is a report. You can see that there are 8 reports that we provide you as part of the snapshot. You can use this as an assessment to your customer. So let me show you some sample of the report. That is from the functional or user standpoint who are familiar with the EBS side. First thing, the functionality that we map between EBS and cloud. And you can see that how many columns from the column standpoint, how many functionality that can map all of them, or how many column is not support. This is a summary itself. And then not enough, it's just summary. We also provide a full detailed list of entire of your configuration that config in your EBS system, and you can click and view function by function, record by record, and inside you can see what column cannot be migrated or mapped into ERP Cloud function. It's not like the two limitation, but it is cloud not supported. So, and you can see that this format is user-friendly, this format easy to see and easy to view from the customer standpoint. This is one of the reports from the EBS perspective. But more than anything else, without this new functionality from cloud, you cannot complete migration from EBS to cloud, because cloud, they are introduce a new functionality, introduce a new task, introduce a new area that you can control. For example, reference data set does not exist in the EBS. And also that you can see that we have recommended, based upon our 30+ year experience of implementing Oracle, even EBS, or even to cloud. And then we also recommended, as you can see, approval group. Approval group is nothing can be migrated because functionality entirely changing. What we provide as a sample for you to be able to test a process flow P2P. So therefore, anything in this recommendation, you can make change. And you can see the chart of account mapping rule from function to function. We also helping because those functionality are changed in ERP Cloud. And then after that, there are also lists of the functionality that is either obsolete or either related to your select statement. So let's have a look at this one, which is the obsolete function. You can drill down capability is by the HTML, also drill down to the Excel file. So any obsolete function, that means either Oracle Cloud completely now changed to complete new module, like inventory organization parameter no longer exist. It becomes cost management. And also another thing like carrier merge limit. Oracle don't have the merge limit anymore. But this one gives you ahead than helping the client saying this, if any customer or any report are referring to this obsolete function and we need to think about it and design the new functionality. So another one, which is something that we cannot migrate because of it is related to select statement, like the value set, like descriptive flex view, key flex view. If you scroll to the right-hand side of your custom value set, let's say select star form, where table and column. You can see where table and column and lookup. This may no longer exist in ERP Cloud, but you may need to redesign them. So let's say like set of book ID, you refer anything to select statement that you may need to work with the client to identify re-engineering changing. The same thing with responsibility, the same thing with menu function. We need to help them to decide role and custom duty. So after this is all the report. Give the customer inside and out how many objects that they had been custom and what they should do with those custom objects from the EBS standpoint. And then now, after this, from the conversion, migration perspective from the EBS, that is now it becomes like a BR100 that you can review. You can either change the chart of account structure. You can either change entirely enterprise structure to match and to fit with cloud functionality. And then once you're ready with that, you submit for the load and everything will fully automated. So this is the platform that we show you. This is fully automated via the OCI, because this is platform 100% SaaS service and 100% hosting with the Oracle OCI. Depends upon where your data center is locating, and we will support those. So from the security concern, you don't need to be concerned because we are in the same host that your Fusion application in, the data center that your Fusion application in, the security, this is for us. If we use a third party, not OCI, they may have a lot of security questions. So here they are, this is the platform, and here how the tool support fully 100% web-based. And before you can do anything, you have to have a connection with your Fusion application. The connection, it consists of the application and BI publisher. The BI publisher is to pull the information, to pull the configuration that have been configured inside the Oracle system. And everything, you just name your connection like port dev1, UAT. Somebody ask something? Okay, then I'll continue. So before you can create a connection, that you must have the username and password creating in your Fusion application. Again, this one is everything is encrypted, all of your password, and also the you can grant control access to your team member. So who can access to dev, who can access to production, who can access to pod environment. So these are the access and control based upon your team or based upon your DBA. So once the connection is establishing, then again, more important, a lot of enterprise customers, they may using single sign-on. And then the tool also support the single sign-on as well. So that is the most important for the enterprise customer. Yeah. So connection is completed and connection has been created. Then have a look of the report. Again, the reason that we call the report is more than just a configuration listing. It also supports transaction. You can run report for transaction. You can run report for master data, which is this one. You don't need to use your, reporting analytics to just get your customer master or your supplier master. but you can just run this report. Again, this report is online and real-time running. And this report, if you are the implementer, if you are the consulting, you will be delightful to see this because of it's helping you preparing your config workbook manually. So let's try to run a report. Let's say you can name a report. Either this is for a payable report, for the business unit report, for anything based upon how you want things to display in this report. Okay. And our report got two things: standard report, comparison report. But I will come back to the comparison report later. Let's have a look at standard report. So once you put the name, you select the environment that you just established. So in order to run a report, and then now the product that we support in order to run a report, we are separate in three big categories. One is configuration, second, master data, third is transaction. But in the configuration, there also a multiple area, like ERP area will be financial through to supply chain. And also in HCM, through all of this module in HCM. As you can see, benefit, payroll, compensation, talent management, learning, recruiting, as you can read from that. And as well as PPM, which is the project management. That is configuration itself. Then for the master data at the moment that we are currently support only this, like some people may not allow dynamic insert and hence learn account combination is not easy. So therefore we help them through bank, customer, item, user, supplier at the moment. And then now from the transaction, mostly from the procurement side, finance and procurement side that you can see, AP, AR, fixed asset, and all of the journal and also purchase order. This what we supported, which is you can run report to see all of this without having, preparing or using your report analytics. Yeah. Let's have a look now parameter that you can put for a report. Filter criteria based upon business unit, based upon legal entity, or based upon ledger. And then if it is based upon the business unit, then you can specify business unit that you would like to present it in the report. It can be one, can be multiple, can be entirely whatever configured in your environment. And then the next below is the task. Again, once you select the product above, automatically task lists are selected below here as a financial task. But if you just don't want to presenting all of them and you only want to present certain area like only payable, you can just select on the payable task section, and any other task is related to the payable. And then once you select it, you can save the template and you can use those templates anytime for any environment. You can say, this is my template for payable, and all other team members can also reuse them, in saving you time to come and uncheck and deselect it all of the time. So when you come back to submit report again, you come back to your template and you select them. Then it will be automatically apply whether the select task that you have been selected, but you can add some more if you need it. And next is you can see another parameter can be by user that you can filter by date. And then at the end, you're just happy with your parameter, submit the report. The system will send you a notification. They send email notification that what job has been generating for this particular report. So once it's completed, that it will also send another mail notification to give you. Once it's complete, you can come to see, use the detail that you can view the report. You can either view online or you can download as a BR100 format or download as a config workbooks. So we give you two options. Yeah. So then if you click view online as the BR100 format, it is become like fully HTML, and it is based upon the tree structure that you see from the Oracle itself. And only the tasks that you selected will be shown here. You can click on the hyperlink and it will be show all of the detailed information that all of the record here are the record configured in your select environment. So this is a report. And then this one, it just as a glance, looking at the HTML format. But as our consulting, we are more used to the Excel, and we also provide a format of the config workbook. And you can see provide more than what you need. And something is provide the customer information that how many records have been configured per task. And you can select on the hyperlink, and then the same thing that you see on the HTML, exactly the same thing that you see in the Excel format. And this as a user-friendly, as you can say, inside the payment term, there are 3 areas, which is payment term, installment, and set assignment. As a consulting, as an implementer, you need to see and review this. So as a user-friendly. And then again, this is a standard BR100 report. And also there is a comparison report. Again, comparison report that whomever customer that have multiple projects. And again, from the consulting, you may not, again, keep synchronize your document up to date with what had been changed from one instance to another. One of our clients that got 60 instances. And then with this comparison report, it helped them significantly to make sure that the environment that in the same level, synchronization, and make sure that everything that configuring among the project across multiple projects, not conflicts. So you can enter the name, the same thing that you can select the source of the report from instance 1, instance 2, instance 3. You can say you can select up to 4 source environment and 4 source target environment. But again, be careful. You need to run the comparison report like apple and apple, not apple and orange. What I mean is, if you would like to see a difference within the payable, that means the source should be a payable and the target also should be the payable. And hence that you will see the truly differences. Otherwise, if you run, across product with not the same source and target level, you will see a lot different. So, and again, in the differences, there are 2 options. You can show the different, all of the different, or any just update record in that particular reference report. And then after that, you can display the user who had been updated or who had been creating in the report. And then you can add reports. Again, the same thing process, it will send email notification to the requester, but when it's completed, it again sends email notification to the requester. So requester will know and the requester has ability to review them. Let's have a look at the report. Again, the report itself have a 2 format, the same thing that a standard report, but the only difference is in the comparison report, as you can see that there are total record, the differences. Now, this one, it only shows differences between the environment. And you can say the environment, same environment, but different time. The description has been changed. And also, if we scroll down, the other environment, this additional have been created, which not exist in the first environment. This is help you significantly, and any differences in the report, you can run change management to synchronize any sort or target environment that differences automatically, not manual. So this is really a powerful reporting, and it is a powerful helping a lot of the consulting and customer to preparing their report and config workbook manually. So this is a report. Then the next thing that we're gonna come and show you is change management. As Keith mentioned, change management is, let's say, when you already configure your CRP, UAT, SIT environment, during testing with the customer, there are definitely additional configuration. There are definitely additional function to be added. But if it is 1 or 2 records, yes, you add manually, it's faster. But if it is 1,000 or 50,000 records and you have to apply multiple environments, but I don't think manually 1 people, 2 people have to able to complete in couple of days time. But change management helping you overcome this problem. You select the source and the environment or the target environment that you would like to synchronize or that you would like to load those additional functions. So the product is very key. You make sure that the product you select matching with the task that you're going to apply. See, everything here support exactly the module that you see in the report. Even the master data, even the transaction. That master data that all of you as a user or the implementer know how painful it is, how trouble that you have to go through tuning and loading them. Sometimes column is valid, value is invalid, from any other legacy system to Oracle. There are a lot of problems, but the tool help you overcome this. And then after you select the product, you select the file that you need to be uploaded. So the system will be validating whether those files that you upload here is valid based upon the product that you're selecting or not. Then you can put a note that says synchronization payment term for this environment. And then after that, it is the same thing. You can just click add change. So then the system will be notify the requester that job ID had been created. But when the job is completed, then the notifier, the requester, will get an email. So again, as you can see, all of our products driven by the workflow. And you can see change management also. These are the workflow that dealing with. After you submit the data, then the system will be validating whether those data that you submit is validated or not. Like for example, some area like mid typo, because of manually typo, you may be changing accidentally the business unit from one to another, and hence that it may not valid in the environment that you're going to apply, and then it's going to be returned some kind of error and tell you which column that is error. And if your ticket had been completed, but if the completed with problem, they provide an issue log. So the issue log, you can download the issue log. And then you can see that those total records that you submitted, how many records had been successfully loaded and how many records had been failed. And you can see that 1 record is failed. It is failed because of you can click on the screenshot. So the system is capture the screenshot, and the error message, as you can see, it is Oracle screen. There is no custom screen from the R4C at all. Everything displayed is based upon your Oracle screen. And this one, because of invalid the reference data set, which does not exist. It tried to look for demo test, but it's not there in the list. And hence that it returns an error. And hence that why that your submit change management to be loading is not successfully load. So that is the change management. And you can see that what record is not loading. The rest, if it's not shown here, that means it's already loaded as per you submitted. So This is how powerful it is. This is day-to-day job that now currently that you have maybe manually doing it, or some of you may say, I have the FBDI, I have some of the Oracle Rapid Implement, but again, believe us, we also, as a Oracle consulting, we have been tested it, we have been used those Oracle tools as well, but there are some limitations, and hence that this tool, it overcome those, but you can use a mixture between the two if you feel comfortable. But this one, it gives you real time. And this one, let's say if you make a wrong chart of account in that environment, then if you would like to transfer in your test environment, you have ability to change them. So that is the copy functionality, which is empower and get rid of those problems by using project import export. If anything from the main enterprise structure mistake or incorrect, our copy had ability to make those change. Do I have time to show you the copy? And here we are, that based upon what we plan to show you, report and change. But another one is a copy. Copy may not, you may not copy the configuration every day, but you may copy the configuration maybe every 3 months, some of the client every 2 months. It depends upon sizing of their implementation. So the biggest number of the enterprise structure that we have been to successfully load so far is 43 business units, and that they have run successfully copy migration from one environment to another environment within 2 business days. And as you see, here are the screen, and we will show the workflow, what copy give it to you. You name the copy, let's say dev to test.
Hi, Pet, how are you keeping? We only have 5 minutes, so what we can do is allow you to continue presentation. Yeah, allow you to continue presenting for 5 minutes, and then we'll allow 5 minutes for questions.
All right, so as you see, the copy is meaning that from one copy configuration from one target to another. Again, what I mean is copy entirely the select area that gives you what are the differences between the two environments. And the report that is presenting is the same format that you see earlier. It will give you only what is not in the target environment for you to review. And then as you can see that there are menu change, you have ability to change if anything wrong as a main enterprise structure, like I mentioned, chart of account, currency, or calendar, you have to able to change. But any data that you don't want it, you can delete it. If you're missing anything, you can add it before you submit to the next process. So when you make some kind of amendment or make you review and make change, and you submit the file loading, it goes to the validation. Again, every process, every product, the system will validate the data that you are submitting against the target environment that it's gonna load. And once it passed through the validation, it goes to the deployment. And again, at the end, it will provide you the log file, the same thing that we show you on the change management. It's going to be the screenshot, and it's going to be the explanation what records are not loaded. Again, you can see that simple screen for the copy, but it helps save a lot of time significantly. So this is for the copy, which is I have you can get your 5 minutes now. Again, product itself is really powerful, and everything, as I mentioned, driven by the process flow. And everything is fully automated loading. And every dependency, if you're asking about the dependency, it will self taking care of. We are embedding all of the dependency in our product. And there are documentation. Yep.
Thank you, Pat. I guess that's probably a good place for us to to stop. I hope that's been of interest. Certainly, if we can get some questions, that would be great. I think summary is what looks it's a simple set of tools there that do a very sophisticated job, and there's lots of detail behind that to go through. Which, so if anybody wants to do that separately, we're happy to do that. But yeah, questions, Ahmed, over to you.
Okay, I don't see any questions in the chat. Keith, if anyone has any questions, where can they reach yourself and Pet? Can you just put your email address in the chat?
Yeah, certainly, you can do that.
Is there any questions? I mean, I'm just looking at the chat.
It would be nice. Yeah, it would be nice, even though not in the chat, but you can ask by wording to just say, is it good? It's no good? It meets your expectation, or this is what you've been looking for?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see a lot of EBS upgrades coming through now, and customers wanting to migrate to the cloud. So this is an excellent tool. I've been just looking at your presentation and giving feedback. Excellent tool. I think what we'll do is we'll schedule another session called I would like to see the rapid copy, the rapid copy. But nevertheless, we will schedule another session. Okay, Keith has placed in his questions. Any questions before we close off to the house?
One question, please.
Yeah, sure.
Anyone going to volunteer for a question? That means if no question, that means I do a good job.
Well, no,
let me ask you a question. I mean, does your product also, is it a cloud-based product, or is it does it sit at the customer side?
The product is cloud-based product. It's like a SaaS service. Everything is on the same OCI hosted.
Okay, so everything is hosted on the Oracle Cloud.
Yep, correct. Yes.
Okay, Keith, you had a question?
Well, yeah. I mean, my question was going to be to your audience, which might be difficult to respond, I guess, other than the chat. But was to try and get a view as to how many people are looking to move from EBS from on-prem to cloud, where that sits in most people's journey at the moment. Is anybody about to embark on that journey?
So
you
can share your experience on how current your implementation had been done, and then any challenging that you have been done, even though not related to the tool, but you can share your experience so far. So we'll see what we can help.
Thank you very much. I see we. Oh yes, there is one question. As far as I know, HR needs to be hybrid. Have you ever worked on in South Africa? We have a total localized payroll environment because we have payroll patches, which is localized to South Africa. Have you ever done implementations in a hybrid model?
For hybrid model from the HR or payroll perspective,
Yes,
I mean, we're not done yet. But again, everything is done through the partner from the tool standpoint. So the hybrid, what you mean is that normally in every country, they also have a localization, every legislative country from the payroll perspective, like tax calculations or anything calculation. But from the South Africa, what is the additional thing that's not the same as the another country?
No, I was fortunate to work in other countries as well, so I know there's no differences. The only thing is that the payroll can't be hosted in OCI. I mean, the payroll can be hosted in OCI, but not in the public cloud. Not in the public cloud.
All right, or private cloud, you mean?
In a private cloud, yeah, in OCI, yeah.
Okay. That one I can check with the security team, but I come back to you.
Okay, no problem. But I mean, you know, if I can just give
we
my
have
experience.
Yeah, we have
Yeah,
experience for the payroll in the UAE country, but I don't know whether the same kind of
it's exactly the
legislation.
same. Exactly the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is we have the payroll in the UAE country. Yeah.
So to answer the question for Marius, that yes, you can move your payroll to an OCI. So you know, you will have to manage your payroll in the Oracle cloud infrastructure, but all your other modules you can move it to the Oracle public cloud. It shouldn't be a train smash, and it is a working solution. But we're running out of time. Thank you, everyone, and thank you to Keith and Pat. We had an excellent audience. We had around 50 people that remained at 50. No one left, so it
That's
looks
great.
like it was very interesting. I will schedule with you a bit late, maybe early next year. You know, we coming to the end of the year to see the rapid copy for the on-premise applications. But thank you for your for this excellent presentation that you have given us. To our audience, next month we have an exciting presentation. As you know, I'm very fond of Oracle Data Guard. Next month we're presenting to the user group called Oracle Cloud Guard. So Data Guard, but in the cloud. Thank you very much. That's all from me, and bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for
Bye.
Bye.
the attendances.